lanjutkan lagi. innovative idea. Moment. Like holding microphone. Yes. Yeah. How we do this?
We have three.
Okay.
Choose.
Okay.
What do you want?
I only want one that works, so
I check it all of them.
just hold all three.
In this house.
Okay. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Our distinguished guest, Mark Wile.
For Nelnet International, thank you for welcoming Amikom. Rektor Universitas Amikom Yogyakarta, Profesor Dr. Muhammad Suyanto. Dear Honorable, our partner, Mr. George, thank you for coming. And all the director, head of department, and also the vice president of the University of Amikom Yogyakarta. I would like to welcome you in international collaboration Universitas Amikom Yogyakarta and Nelnet International. Give applause. Okay, so it's under us. We can welcome you,
Mark, here. And also thank you for Pak George, who always support us to grow in international. So thank you very much for coming. And now we will hear the welcoming speech from our Rector, Professor Dr. Suyanto, MM. Please give applause for him.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace be upon you. Mr. Mark, welcome to Universitas Amikom Yogyakarta. I hope you in Jogja enjoy because Jogja is a special province. And thank Pak Jos. We hope we can collaborate with Universitas Amikom Yogyakarta and Universitas Amikom Yogyakarta and Nelnet International. I think that's all. Thank you for your kindness. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, and thank you for your welcome speech.
And maybe for some introduction for you, Mark, Mr. Suyanto will show you how is a University Amikom work with the Amikom environment. There is also, we have Amikom unit business.
That we know there is, come here is Tamek Selindo, Pak Hanafi, and the team. And also, actually we have more than one unit business, more than MSV or Tamek Selindo, and we have radio, television, and Professor Suyanto will explain us about how is Amikom is going on. So we will start with video, Prof. Oke, Mbak Rona, videonya sudah? Yang video Prof dulu mungkin? Profil-profil, oke ya. Nanti dilanjut dengan Profesor presentasi dari Prof Yanto. Oke, please enjoy, Mark.
Food, culture, heritage, people, oh, how they complete each other. It's like the city is made for young people to learn and to be creative. In this mesmerizing city, I'm glad.
For years, Amikom has tried to make a single place for their students to feel more enjoyment in their learning process. We believe that learning is not something that the students should do, but it's something that they want to do. That's why we always support everything that relates to creative and fun learning activities. It is the essential idea of creativity, associating fun and learning all together.
One thing that I love about this university is that they allow us to experiment and try to make new things. It's okay to make mistakes and learn from them. So that's why they built so many facilities, labs, and also they have professional companies. We call it professional labs. We can experience what it is like to be in the real industry, what we need to be, the attitude, the skills, and everything that makes us relatable out there. It's like we are well prepared for something.
When I first got here, I was completely full of worries. Not because of entering phase, but about the future. I wasn't sure of what I was supposed to do at that time. But it turns out that everybody was a sister. Education, everybody supports each other. The lecturers, staff, employees, and all of my friends, they are so lovely. We have sport activities and great facilities. The cafeteria is cleaning, and the food, they are delicious. We are like coming into a big family.
If you are a person that can different things, I recommend you to come here to feel the atmosphere. Enjoy the fun combination of nature, the city, and romance.
Join us and let this place replace the best.
Come on, join Universitas Amikom Yogyakarta.
In other places are strictly guarded. It's almost impossible to send a messenger.
Musa, bring these letters to the BKR command and militia headquarters. Each is coordinating an assignment to face the landing of the Allies.
I will do my best. For Indonesia, sir.
Got to be fast and cautious. They're everywhere. Their movement is very fast. The situation of the city is at stake. The youth's hatred towards the Japanese and the foreigners could cause chaos everywhere.
Sometimes in life, we go through failure so we can succeed. Sometimes we fall, but then we rise again. We even experience fear before we realize our own courage. We don't give up easily, however bad the situation is.
Be careful. They are experts in hiding their identity. The Kipasita, they're also from the people.
How do you catch unnoticed cats? Where is the code? This is war!
There is no war anymore.
Do you really think a scrawny kid like you forgive me only by understanding yourself? Will you understand?
Welcome to Java. You don't need to worry about some mono boy.
That stupid prophecy will never come true. Melalui teknologi, dunia telah mengalami banyak perubahan, memberi dampak besar dalam industri bisnis di Indonesia. Bergerak maju dan berinovasi merupakan langkah kami untuk terus bertransformasi. Untuk menjawab tantangan di industri digital, kami terus berusaha untuk mengembangkan kompetensi dan pengalaman di bidang teknologi informasi. Persaingan dan tantangan yang ada di dunia bisnis membutuhkan kecepatan dan akurasi yang prima. Namun, ketika sebuah bisnis bertumbuh lebih besar, jaringan di dalamnya akan semakin kompleks. Sehingga dibutuhkan berbagai instrumen IT yang tepat untuk menjaga performa sebuah bisnis. Time Xelindo hadir untuk mendukung proses bisnis pelanggan. Dimulai dari colocation server, pemasangan dedicated internet, hingga layanan virtual private server. Selain itu, kami juga mendukung kemajuan teknologi perusahaan klien melalui pembangunan infrastruktur teknologi informasi seperti pembangunan data center, smart tracking, security service, disaster recovery system, instalasi dan konfigurasi Cisco, pemasangan CCTV, pemasangan wireless access point, instalasi fiber optik, dan lain sebagainya. Tahun 2010, Time Xelindo telah menghasilkan berbagai software yang mempermudah pelanggan kami. Didukung oleh personel yang cakap, kami siap mengembangkan kebutuhan sistem para pelanggan seperti sistem informasi kantor, koperasi, perencanaan IT, budgeting, dan sebagainya. Time Xelindo berkomitmen penuh dalam menjadi rekan bisnis yang cakap dalam audit, analisis, dan memberikan rekomendasi tepat untuk mendukung perkembangan bisnis pelanggan. Sebagai konsultan bisnis di bidang teknologi, kami senantiasa menciptakan strategi dan solusi jangka panjang menggunakan berbagai framework pengembangan manajemen teknologi informasi. Sehingga setiap peningkatan lini teknologi informasi menjadi relevan dengan kebutuhan pelanggan kami. Misi kami yang sederhana, yakni berkolaborasi bersama dalam menciptakan nilai yang mempermudah keperluan pelanggan, serta senantiasa menjaga integritas dalam setiap proses pengambilan keputusan. Kami memandang ke depan, melampaui apa yang kami lakukan untuk pelanggan. Kami menyelesaikan masalah dari yang sederhana hingga yang kompleks. Kami bergerak maju. Kami Time Xelindo.
Okay, thank you. So this is some of our business industry in Amikom, and also some animation feature film from Amikom. There is Battle of Surabaya, and some project is still going on, and hopefully we can launch soon. And now, Professor Dr. Suyanto will explain more about Amikom and this environment. Please welcome Professor Dr. Suyanto. Give applause.
Thank you and welcome, Pak Mark Wile dan Pak Jos, Pak Ri, Pak Bambang, dan para wakil rektor, dekan, dan Pak Prodi, dan guru saya bahasa Inggris Pak Dir. Today I would like to talk about creative economy part Amikom Creative Economy part. I have divided my presentation in two parts. First, my PowerPoint, and second, my video trailer. Okay.
Are you waiting for?
Okay. PowerPoint.
Okay, Pak Mark, this is Amikom. Amikom, my vision is become a world leading university based on creative economy and entrepreneurship. That's okay, thank you. My name is Suyanto, Pak Mike, Su mean good, Yanto smart and handsome. So Suyanto, good, smart and handsome. Okay, it's like Pak Mark. Neck. Okay, thank you. COVID-19 pushes world to a crisis. Crisis turning point. And China's language is Wei Ji, Wei danger Ji is opportunity. In Indonesia, fa'inna ma'along sering-sering. I think, I don't know. Okay. This is turning point. So Amikom choose not the third generation university, but the fourth generation university. This is a big opportunity, I think. The fourth generation university, education, objective of university education and open innovation. What difference? The second university education only research. Research for research. Open innovation, research for commercialization. Very different. Yeah. This is Universitas Amikom Yogyakarta, and we have ecosystem. Human capital development is professional, scientists, entrepreneur, and artists. The second generation university only professional and scientists. The third generation professional, say entrepreneur. The fourth is an artist. I think very interesting university. Okay. This is Amikom. Our vision become a world leading university in based on creative economy and entrepreneurship. What leading university based on what university real impact? University real impact, the word university rank by time higher education and KS. Yeah. Our objective, education excellence and research excellence. Scientist, professional, entrepreneur, and artist. We try to achieve more than 20% our alumni as entrepreneur. So We are entrepreneur university. And our research creative economy park brand. I think very interesting. And okay, next. Next. Like, okay. Okay, Toon Boom, bring your story to life. Recognized Center of Excellence School in Indonesia. Next. Amikom, Amikom. Okay, sorry. Amikom and Griffith from Australia. Next. The first, this is education excellence based on KS, employability, 5-star. And academic development, 4-star. I think for Indonesia it's okay. Next. And based on what university of real impact, Minerva, number 1, MIT, California, Stanford, Arizona. Next. And number 33, Universitas Amikom Yogyakarta, top 5 in the world for with real impact. I think it's very interesting university. Only one from Indonesia, only Universitas Amikom Yogyakarta. So we can collaborate with you, Mr. Mark. A very interesting university. Next, yeah. Universitas Amikom Yogyakarta, collaboration with MSW Studio, 33rd place among the world university with real impact and industrial application. So we collaborate with you because this is our strength, industrial application. Next. Education excellence, Princeton University, alumni as entrepreneurs, 11%. Harvard is 30%. MIT, 50%. Amikom University, 29%. Yeah, okay. And Stanford, 29%. Yeah, applause for us. I think very interesting university. Yeah. Next. This is our ecosystem. It's called Creative Economy Park. Yeah, Creative Economy Park brand. We have commercial enterprise, MSW Picture, MF Studio, Mataram Sulawesi Outdoor, Time Excelindo, Pak Hanafi, CEO of Time Excelindo. Maybe you collaborate with Time Excelindo. I think the big company in our commercial enterprise. Yeah. Kit Solution, RPTV, IMKI Enterprise, and we have Amikom Business Park, incubator. Yeah. I think one of the best incubator in Indonesia. Terra Castalia, we have office in Los Angeles, we have office in Shenzhen, Guangdong, China, and we have office in Singapore. And very interesting about Creative Economy Park. Yeah. Our vision, our objective, collaborate with company in Silicon Valley, collaborate with company in Hollywood, and company listing in Wall Street. Nelnet International listing in Wall Street. Okay, applause for Nelnet. Yeah. I think beautiful partner because it's our objective here. The third place for we collaborate with in this company. Next. Why Creative Economy Park? State budget in Indonesia, anggaran belanja dan pendapatan negara 71.9 billion dollars. But Pokemon more than 105 billion dollars. Hello Kitty 800 sorry sorry maybe 84 billion dollars. Yeah. Winnie the Pooh 83 billion dollars. Mickey Mouse 80 billion dollars. More than state budget. I think very interesting. Yeah. So why animation and game? So our research, we focus on animation and game because big money. Yeah. Okay. Next. We collaborate with Silicon Valley. Pak Andri Kunov, Pak Jo's friend, Pak Andri Kunov from Silicon Valley. We try to invite investors from Silicon Valley to Indonesia. It's like you. Next, yeah. Silicon Valley Innovation Center. Next. In Silicon Valley Innovation Center collaborate with the technology giant and unicorn and startup. So we collaborate with Silicon Valley Innovation Center. We try to collaborate with technology giant, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. I think very interesting company. Yeah. Next. Okay, play. This is.
Hello there. My name is Andrei Kunov, and I am the founder and president of Silicon Valley Innovation Center. I've started this company about 9 years ago with a single mission to connect the large established companies from all over the world with the local innovation ecosystem of Silicon Valley. We bring executives from all parts of the world to Silicon Valley to introduce them to new technologies, innovation, and opportunities to transform their business in some incredible ways that they would never think about before.
Being here and having gone through the program with you and meeting all these companies, we actually see a lot more of the details involved.
It's a new way of thinking.
They gave us some insight.
I was really impressed how fast is blockchain getting into the industry and how useful it's going to be.
And how we can drive this digital transformation in our company.
There are a lot of opportunities out there.
An unforgettable experience.
It was nice to see companies come in and sit down with you and literally, how can we help you?
You can actually take a lot of these key learnings, these real details, real life situations, and try to synthesize that into something that would work and get done.
If you want to understand how your business is going to look like 10 years from now, what kind of technologies you would like to use in order to transform your business, let's connect and talk about how Silicon Valley Innovation Center can help you and your company.
Okay, Silicon Valley Innovation Center. Next.
Hello there.
Next.
My name is Andrei Kunov, and I am the founder.
Next.
And president of Silicon
Yeah, next. Next. Okay. And we collaborate with Hollywood company. 22 Oscar prediction best animated feature film. Rank list of film. Next. Number one is Machine, Luca, Flea. Next. And where is Annie Frank? Is our film. 22 prediction Oscar for 2022. Okay. Next, we collaborate with Wile, we collaborate with Samsa Film, Ari Folman Film, Submarine Film, and Le Bacte, and our studio, MSW Studio. After that, I would like to show our studio, Mr. Mark, MSW Studio. Next. This is Where is Annie Frank?
What are you waiting for, Anne? Open your presents.
Oh, that's so lovely. When you write, who do you actually write to?
To myself, of course.
I prefer to think of my diary as a girl, a best friend. Her name will be Kitty. Kitty? I like it.
Come down, Anne. I'm waiting for you.
Is he a boy from class? Of course.
Who are you talking to, Anne?
Up until a year ago, everyone was in love with me.
Everyone?
It was all so wonderful. Then everything changed.
We're leaving.
They told everyone we were to blame for all the world's problems.
This secret apartment is going to be our hiding place. For every person we welcome is a good chance we are saving a life. You could use those characters in your head. Make them fight your war somehow.
This young lady here named Kitty is looking for Anne Frank.
Have you seen her?
Anne did not write this diary so that you could worship her. What is important...
Get in the truck.
Do everything you can to save one single soul from harm. Just one soul.
What do you see, Peter?
I see the Allied forces. They're coming to liberate us. And you?
I see angels, Peter.
Okay. Yeah. Whoa. Next. Yeah.
What are you waiting for, Anne?
Okay. Mr. Mark. George. Very handsome. And me. Next. Nelnet. This is one business of Nelnet. Nelnet Diversified Services. Next. Nelnet Consumer Service, Technology Outsourcing, Renewable Energy, I think. Next. Maybe Pak Hanafi or Pak Imha, Pak Fauzi, Federal Scholar Net. Next. Nelnet Business Services. Next. Facts, Pak Mark Wile from Facts, okay, yeah. Fact Education, Nelnet Campus Commerce and Payment Spring Payments. Next. Nelnet International, where learning. Next. POSAIC, Nelnet Financial Services. Next. Nelnet Bank. Pak Hanafi, I think Pak Hanafi, very interesting Pak Hanafi. Maybe you can collaborate with Nelnet Bank. Next. Nelnet Communication Services. Next. Allo Communication. Yeah. Maybe we can collaborate. Next. Yeah. Next. Maybe, but next. Nelnet. Okay, Nelnet. Pak, back. Tadi lo yang Nelnet diputar kok. Tadi yang tadi ya, silakan di play. Joe Egan.
My name is Joe Egan. I am the Executive Vice President at Nelnet International. We work in the education space. We provide commerce platforms and student information systems to universities and schools. We are based here in Victoria and Whalers Hill. More than 80% of the universities here in Australia, and we also export to New Zealand, Singapore, Malaysia, Vietnam, and Hong Kong. We actually have products that are helping schools and universities deal with COVID. So we have the products that allow them to educate and manage their students and all their payments from home. We're using the Global Gateway project for our entry into Indonesia. So this program is allowing us to do a market opportunity and strategic go-to-market plan. We have changed how we're now going to enter new countries because of the grant. We have a very strategic plan to go in, a very targeted plan on who we're going to identify for schools, universities, and partners to work with. The grant puts us on a path to go into markets correctly. We were able to engage the right resource to go in. So because of the grant, we're confident we're going to be successful. Without the grant, I couldn't have guaranteed we'd be successful going into Indonesia. With the increase in exporting, we hire additional staff here in Victoria, where we're based. The more we're successful in exporting, the more we hire up here to support our customers overseas, and we're also looking to open up offices overseas as well. We think very highly of Global Victoria. I mean, what a great partner. We were fortunate that we found that Global Victoria existed and they provide all these different services. If it was not for Global Victoria, we would not be as successful as we are in our exporting.
In Amikom, our research is called open innovation. What is open innovation? Collaborating with external ideas and internal ideas. And we have a product, and then existing market and for new market. This is it's called open innovation. Next. For example, and we have incubators, IMAT, iNeuro, Frog, and so on. Very interesting incubator because one of the best incubator accelerator in Indonesia. Next. This is the best. 500 from Silicon Valley. National University Singapore, Y Combinator Silicon Valley, Fast Forward Silicon Valley, Prince Canada, Hong Kong, and Polandia heads, and ABP Amikom Business Park. I think very interesting. Next year. Next. Open innovation. PT Kit Solution. Yeah. Our company collaborate with Suki Departemen Kepolisian, Department of Police, ya kan, Taman Pintar, University of Gajah Mada, and we have idea from external idea, internal idea, and we combine and we have product. Next year. We make game, and this is our product. Next. Yeah. And we have product, it's called boat simulation. We export to Doha, Qatar. Today, the simulation in shopping mall Doha, Qatar. Next year.
Pass the boy
Okay. Next. And we have PT Time Excelindo, CEO of Time Excelindo, Pak Hanafi, collaborate with Departemen Perhubungan, Department of Perhubungan, Transportation, and Department PU, Public Work, and so on. We collaborate with Soekarno-Hatta Authority, and so airport. We create sums of information system about airport, more than 10 airport in Indonesia, especially in Soekarno-Hatta Airport. We collaborate with Bank Mandiri Bank, and we collaborate with Tangsel Pay, financial technology, collaborate with Tangerang Selatan, district. Next. And there's service, software development and business and development consultant. Next. This airport safety. This project, 12 billion rupiah. I think it's a big project. Next. Converter, banking, application, and smart city. Next. Next, Pak. Okay, and we collaborate with Hollywood. I think, next. This is MSV Studio. Our team, MSV Studio, maybe 200 staff to produce world-class animated film. Next year. This is external idea from Hollywood, where Annie Frank from HBO, and Akira from New York, Monster City from Kevin Costner, Kevin Costner, and our story, Amir Hamza, but Hollywood company, Mr. Suyanto, this is your story, but we collaborate to produce it. To produce this film, Amir Hamza, Sumatra story, what just. Next, internal ideas, this is November 10, +1, for we have 40 international award. I think I think it's the first film with 40 international award. And Achisaka, the next film, maybe 2022. And Golden Snail and Crescent Light. Next. We collaborate with Hollywood. This is our model, our platform based on culture. Our culture and story. Design, production, branding, distribution, and by Hollywood company and value. Next. Our value based on story from Indonesia. We have more billion story, I think, in Indonesia. We are very rich about story. Local story, Indonesian story, but with technology, Hollywood technology. So we can sell our film to worldwide because a local story with Hollywood technology. Next. For example, Jill Edrell, a producer of Superman. Professor Suyanto, okay. For synopsis for me, okay. Expel Princess Manohara. I think Borobudur, relief of Borobudur, a story about Princess Manohara. I think very interesting. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Hollywood, Frozen, we have Harden, Roro Jonggrang, and Bandung Bondowoso. Indonesia. And Stray is Lutung Kasarum. And finally, Water of Life, Dima and Dewaruchi. Next. This is our partner, David Reynolds, one of Finding Nemo, I think Oscar. Next, we collaborate with, this is our film, six film maybe, and producing. Next. Forza, we collaborate with Alessandro Costa from AC Milan. And Antara, we collaborate with director from New York. Next, Marco Basalmo. Next. This is our book, but not English, Indonesian. Local story, Hollywood technology. I think good formula for us. Next. This is we collaborate with Nick Kamito, visual effect of Beauty and the Beast. We hope our films like Beauty and the Beast. This is our friend, our partner in Hollywood. Next. Our partner, David Raymond, director of Kevin Costner. David. Next. Marco Basalmo from New York. Akira. Next. And we collaborate with Creative Artists Agency because Creative Artists Agency and MSF Studio, one lawyer, Mickey Nielsen. Okay. So we can collaborate creative. Next. Angelina Jolie, and Hawkins, and Hathaway, Oscar, Brad Pitt, Christian Bale from Creative Artists Agency. Next. Emma Thompson, Josh Clooney, Helen Mirren, Oscar winner from Creative Artists Agency. Next. Julia Roberts, Kate Winslet, Britannia, Morgan Freeman, Tip from Meryl Streep, Nicole Kidman, Natalie Portman from Creative Artists Agency. Next. Penelope Cruz, Robert De Niro, Ryan Gosling, Shia LaBeouf, Sandra Bullock, Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks, Tom Hardy from Creative Artists Agency. We can collaborate with this artist. But price. About price. Next year. This is my friend. Francisca Eastwood, invited me and assumed I am Suyanto. Okay, I think it's very interesting. And we collaborate with Alexander Wright and Francisca Eastwood. Next year. Sam. Next, kembali Pak. Kembali satu lagi. Sam. Next. Trending is entering to film festival. I think for Asaka, we try to release in Hollywood or in US. Next. And US film festival. Next. This is our partner as executive producer or distribution. Hollywood company, Manugardi. Silence. Director of Silence, Martin Scorsese. To Oscar. Next. This is our target. Amazon is okay, but we try to number one. Where Annie Frank? It's you. We try to number one. And this Disney Plus. Next. This November 10 by Amazon. Next. Next. This is our lawyer, Mickey Mierson. Who is Mickey Mierson? Disney lawyer. Creative agency lawyer. And our lawyer. so we can collaborate. One lawyer is Mickey Mierson. Look. Next. This is Asaka. Next. So $7.5 million more than an aircraft. Our aircraft to end 2019 and $6 million. This is our target. Next. Akira is the same. $7.8 million. Yeah. Next. $7.8 million. Next. $7.8 million. Next. And we can collaborate. And next. This is our roadmap. So 2040 top 5 economy. Indonesia. Next. And we have George. So next. Okay, next. And thank you. Indonesia, terima kasih.
Okay.
I think that's all. Thank you for your kindness. Peace with you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Prof. Suyanto, for your explanation. Okay, so Professor Suyanto already explained about Amikom creative economy part. Is how is Amikom is going on? There is some university and also some business industry who has collaboration, and already in international collaboration, yeah, Prof. Yeah, we have collaboration with Hollywood and other people in overseas. I think you have a good choice to come here. It's more choice you here, and we hope we can have some collaboration. And before we sign the MoU, I would like to invite one of Amikom family. He's the one who always support Amikom and always bring his friend to Amikom. Please come forward, Pak Jos. Give applause to Pak Jos. Please give some space, Pak Jos.
Terima kasih teman-teman. Thank you everyone. It's always an honor to be here and be in the organization and the university that is founded by my good friend, Professor Dr. Suyanto, who I've known for so very long, very, very long. I think saya kenal beliau dari zaman kita masih muda belia. I've known him since we were very young. He still has a lot of hair. I have no hair. And so I'm very happy that you're able to come over here in Indonesia and visit this campus and the industries that have been established. Professor Yanto and his colleagues here, developed this organization from scratch. Ya, Bapak kan benar-benar dari nol ya membangunnya. And because we're old friends ya, teman lama saya sama beliau ini, zaman masih muda belia tadi. And I remember very vividly You know, this campus was well known when Professor Yanto began with Kampus Orang Berdasi. Ya. Betul kan, Prof? Ya? So very well known because Professor Yanto wanted to create a new professional class, a new entrepreneurial generation. Ya. And that was 25 years ago ya. 25 tahun yang lalu ya, 30 tahun yang lalu ya, waktu mulai start. 35 years ago. Jadi dari 35 tahun yang lalu Prof Yanto memang punya visi ya membangun entrepreneurial generation ya, Prof ya. So that's why I think, you know, and Yanto has very accurately identified also Nelnet. You know, Nelnet is one of the world-class education technology companies in the world. Yeah? One of every 2 schools in the U.S. use Nelnet's platform. Jadi 50% sekolah-sekolah dan kampus di Amerika itu pakai platformnya Nelnet. Ya. Jadi, and I think Nelnet is developed globally, which you will share later. So, I think some of the colleagues are joining also on Zoom. Yeah, there are some joining in Zoom. Joe Egan, maybe Phil Turtle. Joe Egan is from Melbourne, Phil Turtle from Perth, and Mike Stevens also from Melbourne. But Mark Wile has been assigned here to come to Indonesia. And, you know, obviously traveling during COVID is very difficult ya. Jadi Pak Mark ini memang diminta untuk hadir di Indonesia, mewakili Nelnet untuk bertemu dengan Prof Yanto dan Amikom. Dan seperti rekan-rekan tahu kan, di saat COVID ini perjalanan tuh apalagi internasional tidak mudah ya. Tapi beliau merasa sangat penting, so Mark feels it's very important to come here and to develop the relationship ya, with Prof Yanto and Amikom and eventually with Time Excelindo ya, and your group of industries here. So, thank you very much, Mas, moderator, for allowing me to share. But I'm very honored to be here and to introduce, I think, my friend here, Mr. Mark Wile from Nelnet International. Sekalian saya perkenalkan ya. Okay. Mr. Mark Wile is one of a leading educator in the United States. He resides in Chicago and has developed one of the leading companies within the Nelnet group, which is called Fax. Yeah, Fax. And it's a global company, probably, 4 or 5 international offices. Yeah, double, 10? 10 international offices, 10 kantor global, from Madrid to Kingston, Jamaica, to Guam, and throughout the globe. So very advanced, yeah. And he is an educator. Mark is an educator. Beliau latar belakangnya pendidik. Then I found out that he was the one who developed also the utilization of technology on the cloud in 2002. Jadi saya baru dengar juga beliau sudah mengadopsi sebagai pendidik ya. Cloud itu di 2002. And I was quite surprised actually because saya bukan orang techie ya. Jadi pemahaman saya cloud tuh ya awan tuh biru. But that's quite advanced. Ya, itu cukup awal ya. Rintisan ya, di 2002 kan masih awal ya. And now, you know, Indonesia we're going into the concept of campus on the cloud, school on the cloud. And so this is you know, the new realities. And so I'm happy to introduce my friend here from Nelnet International, Mr. Mark Wile, who's representing Nelnet here to be with all of you, an educator coming all the way from Chicago and leading one of the top education technology companies in the world, listed in the New York Stock Exchange, seperti yang tadi Pak Prof Yanto sampaikan, listed di Wall Street, which is very rare for an education technology company. So, lengkap lah kerja sama Amikom ya. Hollywood, Silicon Valley, and Wall Street. So with that, I'll give the floor to Mark Wile to share about Nelnet International. Terima kasih Mas.
Please. Okay, please, Mark Wile, maybe Before we continue our MOU signing ceremony, you can give some short speech, and we will continue your presentation after the signing MOU. Please welcome Mark Wile. Give applause once again.
Good morning, everyone. You know, it's very humbling to have to stand up after this presentation of your organization. All I can say is, wow, this is amazing, and I am sure you must be also happy and proud to sit here and observe Professor Suyanto's presentation and the summary of the success that you have had here at this epicenter of creativity, business, entrepreneuristic spirit, film and animation. You're doing so many things. So wherever you may be sitting right now, just reach out and give a fist pump to somebody near you and say, thank you, congratulations. Do that right now. Yes, you can do that. You deserve that. So much success. Always celebrate. Yes? Always celebrate. So it is my pleasure to be here, and I want to thank Amikom University and Professor Suyanto, yourself, your team, everyone that's been involved in creating this opportunity for us to be able to have this change of ideas and the prelude to a longer relationship and fruitful and energizing. So I really look forward to the outcropping this can bring to us as we go further along. And I want to bring of course, from our organization, from our board chair and founder Mike Dunlap, our corporate CEO Jeff Norhook, corporate president Davis, division president Deanne Wenger, and our channel director David in Melbourne, who I report to and work with at Nelnet International, and everyone else that's a part of our organization that is now turning their sights beyond the borders of the United States and considering what is available and how can we help impact the globe as we should. You know, with success comes responsibility, right? And as we become more successful, we have to look outside of ourselves, and we have to consider the impact that we can have on humanity. And I think that's really the crux of this conversation. I think as the conversation develops in the next half hour, you will understand, at least from my perspective, that this is part of the mission that we have organizationally, is to be recognized for the good work, the great work that we're doing, and to develop greater understanding among those across the globe for what we represent, what we advocate for, what we can contribute, and how we can transform lives, right? This is what this is all about. You look at the slide that you had of all of the large team of individuals that are representing the film sector of your company, that are producing the films. I mean, think about the way in which you've transformed their lives. So that's significant, and I don't know you all by name and position, but I know that all of you are contributing to a very large result, which we have just looked at. So you can be so proud of yourself. And I just want to thank you for allowing me to be here and for the opportunity that I have to see your great country. I've really, I would say, kind of left the best till later. I've been to so many places in the globe, but I have not been here until this trip, and it's been truly extraordinary. I love your culture. I love your national persona, which is very humble and very warm and very greeting and very hospitality focused. And And I've been able to experience that firsthand, initially with Agun in Jakarta, and then upon arrival here in Yogyakarta with Zahan, and with the great experiences that we've had of touring and seeing your wonderful monument, the Buddhist temple, and that was extraordinary. So I've been able to enjoy all of this, even enjoy some spicy food. So I try to not enjoy it too much because I'm not used to it, but anyway, it's truly wonderful to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation, for the hospitality, and I know that I have more comments that I want to share, but I think we have something that we're going to do formally, and then we'll carry on from there. So again, my gratitude and appreciation for everything that you've done. Thank you.
Okay, so now we will going on MoU ceremony, and I will invite maybe Mark and also Prof. Suyanto to come forward, and we will do some ceremony sign. And from Amikom, I will invite also the witness of this MoU, Pak Hanif. Please come. And also Pak George to be witness of Nelnet, please. Okay, please we can sign the MoU. Okay. Okay, and you can change the document. Okay, and please the witness, you can sign also, Pak George and Pak Hanif. Okay, give applause. Okay, we can take a photo together. You can bring your document, please. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. Give applause one more. Okay, please, thank you. Okay, okay, and now we are going to some presentation from Mark, and we will continue with a Q&A from the audience. And now is time. Okay, so Mark, the floor is yours. Please give applause to Mark. Please welcome.
Thank you for the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding. I think this is foundational to the latitude and longitude of our potentials, and it really signifies the joining of our thinking and our dialogue that will lead us into the creative development that we would like to have as organizations. So again, I'm so grateful to be here. I would not have this opportunity, I can say sincerely, had it not been for my now very good friend, George, and the team that is behind him, working with him, with Phil and Mike and Joe, of course, my colleague and kindred spirit for global business development. So, George, I'm so grateful for all of the detail that you've driven into the whole time that I've been here, and really making it very comfortable and meaningful for me. So thank you for that. I will say it again, it's very humbling to have this opportunity to speak with you, particularly after all that you just shared, Professor Suyanto. It's amazing what you have accomplished, and you should have a strong sense of pride. We walked from the arrival back through the campus to this room, and when you consider how much you've accomplished in really a relatively short time, and the accolades that you've received, it's really truly impressive and inspiring to me. I just want you to know that it really is truly inspiring. Inspiration goes a long ways, and we have an opportunity to do this on a daily basis. And I think it's incumbent upon us, with the knowledge and the experience that we have, to do something with that, to lift our voice and do something with that. And Nelnet, our parent organization, has a lot of focuses, but one of the core focuses that we have is, as has been said, education. This is big for us. We care about pre-tertiary education, K-12. As was said earlier, we have nearly 1 in 2 private schools in America that is using one of our solutions. We call that brand dominance. It's a big achievement, and we're humbled, and we're grateful for the opportunity that we have to serve so many schools, so many families every day. We do a lot of work with higher education, and certainly my kindred spirit in business development, Joe Egan, and the Zeta team are really focused on transforming the commerce, the electronic commerce experience at universities. And they've done an amazing job in Australia, where nearly every higher ed institution is using this service. So they can be very proud of what they've accomplished. So at FACS and FACS International, who is what I represent, and Nelnet International, which is in Melbourne, we focus on advancing our services into the global market, and we're really the global arm for Nelnet. And we're partnering for sustainable schools. We're going to be talking a lot about sustainability in this very few minutes that we have. So what is our mission in Indonesia? In other words, why am I here? Why am I? Well, I'm here because I was invited, and I recognize and accept that responsibility and privilege humbly. And when we think about what we can do in Indonesia, we want to bring the expertise that we have to support the innovation efforts that you have here in your great country, and do that in the educational sector, to be involved in the dialogue that is part of introducing change. And we want to introduce modern, transformative technologies that will bring about the kind of reforms and modernizations that you need, and to do that in an affordable way. It's a pretty big ambition, isn't it? It's a big mission. And how accomplished have we been, and how confident can we feel about this mission, is something that we think about every day. This is bleeding off just a little bit, but you can see that we are a leader at FACS. We are a leader in the industry. And I want to start in the top right corner. Top right corner. And if you think about what you're holding in your hand right now, some of you might be holding a device, some of you might be wearing glasses today. Someone might be holding a bottle of water. If I said to you, for example, this is a bottle of water, and if you take a drink of this water, you will never choose another brand of water ever in your life. You will only drink this water. Would the company that makes this water be successful? If they had a product that created that kind of followership where once people sample it, they will never leave it for another brand, would you consider that success? Of course, right? And we're humbled by that fact that our statistic is that we at Fax have retained about 95% of our customers since the beginning. Can you imagine that? That's incredible, and we're so grateful for that loyalty that we have among our customer base. That takes into consideration schools that have closed. It takes into consideration schools that have new directors that say, you know, I was using this before, I want to use it again. So we're proud of that statistic. We have 10 global offices, about 1,200 people in the division under Deanne Wenger that is supporting us every day. We're in 55 countries. We have about 12,500 schools, and we're serving about 3.5 million students and their families every day. So we have a lot of responsibility. And you recognize when you have that kind of presence in the life of families every day that you have to do it successfully and you have to do it consistently. And how do we deliver those services successfully and consistently? We do it through our global offices, and we've just referenced these earlier, and you can kind of see the board that we're looking at right now. All the white-lettered entities are entities that are in service to customers in these markets, all the way from over here in Mexico City, all the way over to Guam in the Pacific. And nearby Guam is a target with the name Indonesia. So you can see that you're on our board. You are part of our focus, and we're anxious to really establish credentials here and be able to have a gateway into this region, which we have not had previous to this. As an example, on the previous slide, we had and maybe I'll just back up quickly so that you can see this. Right there in the top center is NeoEd, Karachi, Pakistan. And I was there just a week and a half ago. We have a wonderful reselling partner in Karachi, NeoEd. And so we were there a week and a half ago, and we spent about 9 days doing business development, visiting our customers that we have in these cities that you'll recognize, and talking with school leaders and school directors representing hundreds of schools, and having them consider transformative technologies. This is a conversation that is going on actively in many parts of the world, and I know that it is the same here in Indonesia. So what we're striving to do is impactful and it's valid, and we, again, consider it a great privilege to be in some of these locations. Sometimes people don't understand and think about other parts of the globe. And I would say to this, after having been in so many places like this, that no matter where you go, and people often say this to me, for example, when I was just in Pakistan, when they said, where are you traveling to? And I tell them, I'm going to Pakistan, and they are like, what are you doing there? Well, what we're doing there is the same thing that we're doing here and we're doing there, and that is that no matter where you go, and how many of you are parents? Raise your hand if you are a parent. If you have children, raise your hands, please. So you know that no matter where we go on the planet, people care about the same thing. They care about their children. They care about their futures. They care about success. So we're excited to be a part of such a global conversation. And the way that we are able to accomplish so much is through the leadership of some amazing people. And I just wanted to give you a quick visual to a few of our team members that are part of our core energy and leadership. This is Sobia Fatmi, and she actually was director and owner of one of the schools that I just showed you on the previous slide, Haq Academy in Karachi. So I met her at her school. She was a customer, and I said, "You need to come work for me, please." She's an amazing leader, and she has a great vision for education, and we are so delighted to have her a part of our team. And she's Pakistani, of course. This is Laura Lopez. She is Mexican. You can see my team is very diverse. I'm a Canadian, by the way. I live in the US, but I'm from Canada, so we're all diverse. This is Laura Lopez. And of anyone that I know, there is no one that I think that I can think of right now that is more organized and has greater productivity than Laura Lopez. So it only makes sense that she is our operations director. This is Kemp Tucker. And Kemp's a family man. He has 4 daughters, a beautiful wife, and he is the leader of our product, our global product strategy. And Kemp is the guy that we come to whenever we have technical questions. He has a really great knowledge of all of our products and services, and we believe he is the key to our future, quite frankly. And then finally, I just wanted to show you one of our last core team members. This is Dylan Yun, and Dylan is Chinese. He also has in his family heritage Mexican influence. And when I grow up, I want to be like Dylan. Look how cool Dylan is. He's a cool dude. But he is a wonderful leader of our direct sales into market, and he is a great communicator, has a great grasp of the vocabulary, English vocabulary, and he is doing a great job in helping us start this segment of our business. This group of leaders and myself think about this every day. We think about what is needed to help schools be sustainable, and the key word that we use is relevance. You see it at the top right, sustainability through relevance. And when you think about your schools that you have here in your country, this is a kind of conversation that we're going to start having more of. What is needed for schools to be relevant? And we're talking about brand, we're talking about distance learning, we're talking about mobility, and we're talking about online admissions. These are some of the key characteristics of sustainable schools. I wanted to just let you see a little bit about what we do before I start talking more about what I think is the direction of the future of education itself. This is our product structure. We have this strong core SIS solution in the center, and then around that solution we have all of these services that we wrap into the product that helps the system be robust and strong so that schools can have a large ecosystem of services and be able to really deliver the kind of experience that schools of excellence want to do. Just a little preview into our system itself. This is Fax SIS. You can kind of see the look and feel of our product platform for K-12 schools. It's very modernized, it's tile-based, it has summary data so that it's easy for reference purposes for users to be able to see and understand quickly what is happening in the lives of the students. It has, of course, helpful tools like visual photographs of students in attendance settings and aggregation of data for all the employees that work in our schools and their profile of services. So it gives you a little flavor of what my team and myself and our division focus on and work on in terms of delivering this kind of experience into schools. Speaking of schools, I'm going to ask some questions, and I want you to really think about them with me, please. So this is time to clear out your mind and apply some creative thought and just think with me. What is a school? What is a school? And who are we educating? Does anyone want to take an An answer? It's kind of a trick question, but not really. What is a school? It should be an easy question to answer. Do you not have that answer? Doesn't everyone know what a school is, right? Do you think you know what a school is? I think we think that we know what a school is. We're sitting in one, aren't we? Congratulations on such an amazing university. It's really awesome to see the way that you stack up against these other institutions. You're really setting a high bar. So what is a school? Well, you're sitting in one today, yes? But I want you to think about the question, though, because it might have a different answer. Does anybody recognize what these are? I kind of blurred it out a little bit so that you couldn't read it, but anyone recognize what those are? Please speak up. Well, they're books, yes, but they're a specific book. Thank you. There's the answer. Encyclopedia. What is an encyclopedia? Now I'm showing my age. Now you know how old I am. We had encyclopedias at home. What are encyclopedias? What are they? They're books, yes. But they are a compilation. They're a compilation of information. In fact, the word encyclopedia comes from the Greek word, which I can't really pronounce, so I'm not even going to try, but a Greek word that means general information, encyclopedia. So we don't see encyclopedias around very much, but at the time, they were supposed to be the aggregation of all of the general knowledge that we had captured as a society. But we don't have encyclopedias anymore. That kind of merged into Wikipedia. Do you know what that is? Everybody knows what wikis are, Wikipedia, and we needed that online facility because why? There's too much knowledge to try to put into a traditional hardbound book and say, here is the summation of our knowledge. We needed something electronic that we could aggregate information and that we could have people contribute to as knowledge grew. But it hasn't really stopped there because now we not only have Wikipedia, but we have metadata. What is metadata? We have so much data that we need data to help us understand the data we have, right? To break that down even more. So there's an evolution going on here, and we have all of this knowledge, and we have to ask ourselves, what are we doing with what we know? What are we doing with all of this knowledge? Well, we should use that knowledge in a constructive way. What would be the logical thing to do with knowledge that we've accumulated? Solve problems. Are there any problems in the world that we need to solve? Can you think of some? I've listed a few of these. Do you agree with these? These are serious problems, are they not? Overpopulation, water shortages and contamination, climate change. Do you have climate change in Indonesia? I grew up in Canada, and the last few summers, now I will tell you, when I grew up in Canada, this did not happen. But the last few summers, we have had temperatures higher than 40 centigrade in Canada. This is parallel 51, 52. This is up there, right? 41, 42 degrees centigrade. Climate change, food shortages, contamination, disease, pandemics. Anybody heard of that lately? Yes? Human conflict and racism, poverty, intolerance, interrupted learning. You're experiencing that right now at Amikom University, are you not? Interrupted learning. In other words, I think you can summarize all of these issues that we're talking about here as issues that have to do with sustainability. We have a sustainability issue. sustainability, when I first started using this term about 10 years ago, there were people that didn't like that I used the term to refer to education because they thought that sustainability was purely something to do with the environment. Now, I respect the fact that we have a lot of academics in the room here. So you may not agree with all of my conclusions, which I hope that you won't, because many of you are highly credentialed and you have a lot of intelligence. So I'm very interested in your ideas, and hopefully we can have a little exchange of that in a moment. But I believe that sustainability has a lot more to do than just with environment. We used to talk about that with, green technologies and sustainability. But I think sustainability has become certainly a lot to do with process and the interaction between the different environments and entities that we have on planet Earth. Great example of the fact is that with the pandemic that occurred, people died not from the pandemic only, but from starvation. Why is that? Because supply chains were interrupted. That's a sustainability issue, is it not? So it's a process issue as well. What does sustainability have to do with education? Does it have anything to do with education? Is a good question. To understand sustainability and education and evolution of education, I want to take you to Virginia. Have you heard of this place in the U.S.? In Virginia, I want to go to the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. We were singing John Denver's song yesterday on the way to the monument. We were singing John Denver's song about Almost Heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. I want to take you there to the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains to this. So Thomas Jefferson had a mansion, third president of the United States, author of the Declaration of Independence, right? And he has a mansion, had a mansion, and it's still there, on a mountain overlooking this small, at that time, village or town of Charlottesville, Virginia. Monticello, overlooking the valley, and Jefferson had a vision to build a university. So this is your modern-day Thomas Jefferson right here. Yes. Had a vision to build a university, and he looked down into the valley and he said, that's where I want to make a university. So he founded the University of Virginia. And what he did that was transformative about that was that he built this. Now, what is that? Does anybody know what that is? That is his rotunda. And it was important to the university because the rotunda was on the green open space of the university, and connected to the rotunda where learning could occur formally in instruction were all of the housing units where both the students and the faculty resided. Because Thomas Jefferson wanted the conversation to continue after the formal classes ended. He wanted the students and the teachers to continue to have the conversation. So he created an environment where that could happen, and it was called the academical village. Academical village. Some of the benefits of having that kind of exchange go on between faculty and students was that they could coexist and continue having an active learning environment after classes, and they could test out ideas. They could come up with theories, and they could discuss those, and they could have multiple disciplines, sciences and math and humanities, get together and talk about interdisciplinary topics, and they could discuss how they could lift up humanity, which, remember, in those days was a really important part of America's mission, was to lift humanity and give everyone an opportunity to be successful and live this dream and promote the values of freedom, creativity, truth, and discovery. In other words, they didn't really realize it, but they were promoting sustainability. They were talking about sustainability. Again, sustainability's true nature is considering anything that threatens survivability. If there isn't freedom, does that threaten survivability? Yes, it does. If there isn't truth, does that threaten survivability? Yes, it's a sustainability issue. So it begs the question, if we think about the rotunda at the University of Virginia, we have to ask ourselves a question, what does a school look like? Does a school look like this? I mean, this doesn't really look like the rotunda, but it kind of looks like a building, right? It kind of looks like Amikom University, a building, right? It's a place. Is this what a school looks like? You know, George and I were talking about Socrates and how, you know, he would maybe just sit down, as you said, George, on a rock, and students would come and they would have a conversation, a Socratic dialogue back and forth and challenge one another with ideas. And schools could be that. Is this what a school looks like? Well, this is what schools have looked like for a long time. They're facility-based institutions. Amikom University is a facility-based institution. Students come to this facility to learn, don't they? Traditionally, that is what they do. Right now, it's a little bit different, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But I will tell you that over the years of working with schools now, my whole career, I used to be a school director. I've now been involved in educational technology and visioning for almost 20 years. We could not move schools toward innovation effectively, fast enough. Now, that is ironic. What is the purpose of schools? To learn, right? To learn, but schools themselves are terrible about learning. They do not want to change. They do not want to change their practices. It's an ironic disappointment. So there have been superficial instructional changes over the years, but most of our education has been instructor-focused, teacher communicating learning to the student, right? That's traditionally what we're looking at. And there was a reluctance to adopt new learning methods like blended learning. Now, blended learning was just the utilization of electronic content in a traditional classroom, right? We couldn't even get teachers to effectively do that. Forget about flipping the classroom around and putting the responsibility for learning remotely on the student. That was nearly impossible to get schools to think about shifting their pedagogical methodologies of delivery. Really challenging. Challenging to move schools toward innovation. But then the pandemic came along, and within the pandemic, and you said this so well, Dr. Suyanto, you said there was a danger and an opportunity, right? And so the pandemic came along, and everything that was conventional was now changed, right? Things were not as they were. Education ended up being flipped. You now have a flipped educational experience where you have students learning remotely, right? And you're going to be bringing them back into the traditional learning environment. And the need for digital learning was invoked. We now needed to have a delivery experience where students could be effectively engaged in learning from a distance. So I would say that probably one of the most beneficial things that have come out of the pandemic, if there's good things, and there are, one of them is the fact that it has turned education upside down and forced schools to be creative in starting to think about how to effectively deliver learning and content and engagement from a distance. It was born out of a necessity. It was a sustainability issue. So it begs the question, do we want a school to look like this? And that's a question. That's a real question for you. It's not a trick question. Do we want a school to look like this? Why do we like our schools to look like this? It's a good thing when you arrive in the morning at Amikom University, like I did today, and we turn the corner and we come into the gate, you feel a sense of accomplishment and pride. This is our institution, and we like that. So it's okay, I think, for us to say, yes, we do want a school to look like this. There is value in our schools looking like this. But is there another school that we can consider? What if our school looked like that? What if this was Thomas Jefferson's new academical village? Is that possible? His academical village was not a lot bigger than this. But what if this is the new Thomas Jefferson's academical village? What if this is Amikom University's new academical village? How could we accomplish that? What would that look like? I call this borderless education. I think a lot of people probably are referring to it that way. And we have this opportunity now where we can develop a learning and experience that can be borderless. You're doing it today. You're saying that you can educate students that are registered members of Amikom University, and they don't even have to step inside this building. Is that correct? So you're doing it today. And if you're doing it successfully today, is that something that you can scale up? What would that look like? Well, I can say that you cannot even consider this question without infrastructure, right? Who's the infrastructure people here? Raise your hands. Who's the IT infrastructure people? They're here somewhere. Yes, you are. There's others, I'm sure. We need infrastructure. And infrastructure has to be reliable. And why is that? Because if it is not reliable, people will not trust it. Am I right? They will not trust it. So we need infrastructure. And we need to remember that infrastructure serves us. We don't serve it. And this is the big problem with technology, is that people are made to feel like they're servants to technology, and the technology is a servant to us. And in order for it to do that, we have to be able to trust it. We also need to understand what our purpose is in achieving borderless education. What is the purpose behind thinking big, thinking creative, thinking about having borderless learning? And of course, the logical reason is that we need to be able to reach our students. Who are our students and where are they? So it's clear what our purpose is. Our challenge is people, because people are reluctant to change. And we have to overcome that reality. The pandemic has forced a lot of teachers to resign because they don't want to change and adapt and adjust to this learning environment that we have today. And so when you stop and think about the new academical village and what a school looks like today, we have to ask ourselves, what does success look like? And this is what I think success looks like. Number one, connectivity's magnetism. When you have an epicenter of thriving technology, it becomes a magnet. A really good example, and you saw a slide of this earlier. Do you remember the slide when we were looking at Nelnet Communications and there was only one company and it was Allo? Do you remember the slide that you had? Allo? Fiber optics, right? But here's the interesting thing about fiber optics, and I'm sure you have the same thing going on in Indonesia. In our part of the world, when you introduce fiber optics into a city, what do you think happens? What happens? There is a population explosion. And why is that? People want to live where there is great technology. And people will pick up their life and leave this city, and they will move to this city just because there is fiber in the ground coming into their home, into their business. It's true. It happens every day. Great technology and connectivity, which is a huge value that families place today, is a magnet that draws energy to itself. So very positive. The other face of success is the leveraging of knowledge and expertise. What I mean by that is that when we have a coalition of knowledge and expertise in a connected environment, it continues to draw more and more knowledge and expertise, and it feeds itself. I think another face of this is borderless learning and collaboration. And what I mean by that is that we are able to expand our mission effectively in a way that we wouldn't have thought of before when we are in a digital transformation. It allows us as an entity, Amikom University. It allows us as a city, Yogyakarta. It allows us as a country, Indonesia, to be more internationally competitive if we can be the coalition of knowledge and expertise that will fuel the curiosity and interest of people outside of our borders. And I think ultimately one of the biggest challenges that countries have is that talent leaves and says goodbye. So we want to be able to retain that talent and the industry that goes with it. A really great example of how an institution thrived during the pandemic was one of our partner schools in Bangkok, Thailand. It's the King Mongkut International Demonstration School. John Cork, who's the IT director there, said, the flexibility and future focus of FACS allowed them to thrive effectively during the pandemic. And their school aims to produce highest achieving students, and they were able to not only have a stable enrollment, but they have grown their enrollment while their school building has been closed because they're offering an effective, comprehensive online learning model. And I tell you about King Mongkut because I want to ask this question: keep this and have it all? Is it possible for an organization to have an institution, a brick and mortar institution with walls and floors and doors and windows? Is it possible to have that and still have it all? And by that I mean, is it possible for us to really be an international epicenter of learning, creativity, entrepreneuristic spirit, and growth? Is it possible to do that? I say that it is. And I believe that the schools of the future that are able to be successful, this is the last slide, the schools that are going to be successful in the future are the schools that understand that learning and expertise is a commodity. What do I mean by that? Is it possible for an organization in the country of Indonesia to have the best pedagogy, the best instructional methodology and knowledge and learning, so much so that it will draw students from all corners of the earth to experience that learning online because they know that they can't get it better anywhere else? Can we do that? Can we develop a product, an experience that will draw students from the four corners of the earth because they cannot get it better anywhere else? if there's one thing that we should be striving to do out of the pandemic, it is exactly that. The schools of the future that I believe are going to be successful are the ones that are going to leverage the problem. They're going to collate talent, knowledge, creativity, excellent pedagogy, excellent learning, online learning experience, and they're going to sell that globally because nobody can get it anywhere else better than through that institution itself or that country itself. Can Indonesia become that? The epicenter of Asia, for example, where students subscribe and enroll online across the globe because they know that is where they're going to get the best knowledge, the best skill, the best mentoring that will allow them to be able to excel in their areas of academic focus. So this is it. This is my final slide. Mark's stages of sustainability. And I think I challenge you in a kind and humble way. I challenge myself and I challenge all of the institutions that we talk to consider this. Where are you on this path of sustainability? Are you down at 1 in action? I will tell you there are millions of schools today that are probably still struggling and inactive. Are we talking about it? Would you say we're talking about it today? Is this a conversation about sustainability? So we know that we're at least at number 2. We're talking about it. Have we diagnosed the problem effectively? I'm talking about institutionally, the problem that we have of sustainability. Do we have vulnerabilities? Have we diagnosed it? Do we have a strategy of how to overcome that? Probably we do. Yes, absolutely. I see a head nod. So we know we're at 4. Have we invoked reform? Have you changed up your practices to be able to sustain learning? Would you say yes? Yes. So we're at stage number 5. Did we get a reaction from the learning community? Did we have students that said, you know what, this is not working for me anymore. I don't like this. Or did we have faculty that said, I don't think I can do this. This is frustrating. I don't like this. I don't think I want to do this anymore. Did we get a reaction? Probably. I think every school probably did. Have we started retraining for that? Let's help you, teacher, professor, understand how to do this more effectively. Here's how you can use your technology better. Here's how you can engage the students more effectively. Here's how you can move learning forward. Have we done the retraining that we need to do to respect our professionals and keep them excited about learning and delivering learning? That's the hash mark. That's the hard work right there. All of that's the hard work. Once you have the retraining momentum, then you're going to get a positive response and your teachers are going to say, thank you. I feel so much better about what I'm doing today. This is exciting. I'm figuring this out. And then you're making mild revisions, and then you're resolving the issue, and you're becoming truly a sustainable institution. That's my challenge for us. And I think our goal in Indonesia, when we think about the possibilities of the partnership that we're forging here, is that can we impact education in Indonesia effectively by challenging them through these stages and steps, giving them the infrastructure that we looked at a little earlier that they need in order to be able to have enterprise management, learning management platform, mobility for families to be able to consume and participate and understand. When you put that infrastructure in place, you suddenly lift the whole community up. You engage them. Every speech I've ever given about this, I've said this comment, and I'll leave this as my last comment. Where there is transparency, there is accountability. And where there is accountability, there is progress. It must happen in that order. And I think that what we're talking about here is leveraging technology to create transparency. Can a parent help a child be stronger and more successful if they don't know what's going on? No, they cannot. Transparency through technology creates accountability, the conversations that create accountability. And where there is accountability, there is progress. And that's really what we're striving to do here. Change the nation, lift up the nation and elevate it to a higher competitiveness, to create a workforce of professionals that are second to none in the world, to deliver knowledge that cannot be found better anywhere else on planet Earth. That's our challenge. And that's a challenge that I leave with you today. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Okay, thank you for the lecture. Okay, so thanks for your presentation. So the one is let's to be progressive and move to the other states together. It's an interesting presentation. You already explained us about your company, the good concept also, interesting concept, interesting services also. And I think it will be met with Amikom vision. And hopefully we can implementation our collaboration soon. And we can grow together to move to the other stages. And we grow together to the global and internationally. Give applause to us. Oke, ladies and gentlemen, Bapak Ibu yang kami hormati, kita sudah sampai di penghujung acara. We come to the final session and we will do some photo group together to close this session. And please, Bapak Ibu bisa berdiri, please stand up and we will take a photo together. And after that, we will show you about the Amikom Creative Economy Park. I'm Prof. Suyanto, and some people will accompany you to looking for around Amikom. Okay? Okay. Oke, mungkin agak merapat sedikit. Mohon izin ya Pak Rudi. Oke, baik. The formal first, okay. And 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more with Amikom sign. We have a signature gesture, holding the word, holding the word. Yeah, like you holding the word, holding the word. Yeah, okay. It's like Amikom logo. Yeah, holding the word. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, and one more time. It's the freestyle. It's yours, your style, the cheerful style. Okay, okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you for coming in this international collaboration and MoU ceremony sign. And we will continue our journey. I will show you the Amikom Creative Economy Park. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu yang kami hormati. Mohon izin. Mohon izin kami akan melanjutkan perjalanan. Bapak Ibu berkenan untuk bisa melanjutkan.